all the things that happen in our lives, even though they might feel bad at the time, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that
Yes.
now I can take that as a learning and grow and expand and transform from that. I mean,
My previous lesson that really lent to allowing me to get through that and to make the situation better was the ability to regulate myself. Okay, all this stuff's going wrong, but what can I do? Just a little thing to start turning it right. If you can just go 1%
right.
each day in the other direction, eventually you'll be moving so far in this direction you won't even remember who this person was.
There should be something in our lives that we can just be us and be ourselves, and not for money, just the pleasure and for self-care. I mean,
Do something you love just because you love it.
right.
And when I come back to whatever I was frustrated with, I can deal with it so much better. Just because I had that passion, I have that passion. I'm doing something for myself. You should be number one in your life. You have to spend every waking second with yourself. So you need to make sure that you're able to look at yourself and say, I am happy with who I am.
Hi guys, this is Curtis McCullom with the Curtis McCullom Show, where we kind of dive into the mindset of top CEOs, entrepreneurs, and founders to kind of share with you what it takes to be and become the best version of yourself. You know, Bespoke Human Potential Coaching, we sponsor this show because we want to help CEOs and founders and entrepreneurs kind of eliminate these blind spots, these areas in their life that's actually preventing them from being the best version of themselves. Sometimes these things kind of drag in from childhood. So these blocks that's kind of been keeping you from reaching your full potential, and you feel like you're stuck or something is just holding you back. It's time, guys. It's time now for you to stop it. Let's schedule a free visit together, a clarity call with me today using the link below. Let's uncover what's really standing in your way and get you moving forward. You know, if you're really enjoying this show, and I hope you are, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your review at the bottom so that we can reach other people. This kind of helps us support to reach more people who are ready to transform their lives. This morning or today, I have in studio Jay Hall, telling you this young man. I'm saying young man. Everybody's young to me, you know, after raising 3 kids and all that stuff. And so all people who are younger than me are young men. But Jay has a very, very special story, you know, from things that he shared in his home life all the way up to the fact that his involvement in politics. He's an advocate. He's an event production person. He's a host of a radio and podcast. He's a traveler, a blogger, a writer, all those things. But today, he's in my studio sharing with me all about him and about for you to kind of learn about the power of mindset and what we can actually become. Jay, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Curtis.
Yeah, you know, I share with everybody that, you know, we all have these journeys that we've been on. You know, I can share mine and, you know, with the ups and the downs and the crazy turnarounds. But at the end of the day, we're who we are, authentically who we are. So kind of share with the audience a little bit about your journey. How did you become, you know, the Jay Hall that you are today, man?
Well, my story, oh man, it's very similar to Forrest Gump and Homer Simpson.
Now that's definitely 2 ears of the story there. I'm waiting for this.
Essentially, I grew up very shy kid, bullied a lot. My principal had told me in junior high that I was either going to end up dead or in jail.
Wow.
Because after I grew up a bit, I was pretty small
Right,
for my
right,
age, and then I had a growth spurt, and I came back, and I would not put up with the bullying anymore, and I kind of went on a rebellious streak from there,
right.
and I really didn't really know my place in the world, and when I turned 18, I wanted more than anything just to get out of the small town that I was living in since grade 7,
Right.
and get back into the city. I did that, and then I started to find my identity through music, and I was okay in terms of my talent there, but not stellar. And
Right.
that went, event marketing, and that just continued to evolve into all these different roles that led me to, you talk about the journey. Mine has been a roller coaster ride with windmills and loop-de-loops and all that. And occasionally the bars did not hold, and I'm hanging on for dear
Yeah,
life as the
yeah,
roller
yeah. I gotta
coaster's
hear
upside
you.
down. So yeah, I've had an extraordinary life, a life that my 15-year-old self would have never dared dream about.
Right.
And today I feel like I have come full circle, uh, taking the best parts of me from each stage in my life. I like to call it my life script. I'm on chapter 15,
Right.
and now compiling myself as a main character in my own life.
Yeah. So take us back a little bit. You saying that, when you were a child, you were bullied,
Yes,
right?
heavily.
And then how did that kind of form you now? Because you said, okay, I was bullied, then I came back. Right now, I wouldn't try to bully you at all at this point. I mean, you don't look like a guy I could push around. Now, I could take you now, but but I won't try. So what happened in that journey? Kind of fill in the gaps a little bit there.
Well, so bullying is a double-edged sword, depending on how you deal with it.
Okay.
So I was severely bullied, several injuries. It led to my nastiest habit for several years, which was lying, because I would lie to get out of going to school because I didn't obviously want to go. I didn't want to get
Right.
beat up. And that kind of bled into other things in my life. And then it led me to trying to find the easiest way to do things,
Okay.
simply because it created fear in me.
Yeah.
But what it also did was it made me resent that fear too. So that was kind of around my 18th birthday, and that's when I got my first tattoos, Conquer Fear, Conquer Life, on my
Okay.
forearms, to constantly look at it and remind me that fear is something that has to be conquered.
Right.
And where the double-edged sword comes in is I believe that was a big piece that led me to have the strength that I people tell me I have, and it's led me to have a thick skin. It's led me to remember. I always said certain people, you can tell they've never been hit.
The old Mike Tyson said, you don't really know how you're going to respond until you get hit in the mouth,
Yeah.
and then you know who you really are because now you've been hit in the mouth. So you saying that's kind of what you're alluding to, something like that, huh?
Yeah, there are a lot of people in this world that have never really been tested
Okay.
and have never been forced to really experience pain. And pain has been a regular piece of my story.
Right.
I know the feeling of taking a hit, literally, figuratively, emotionally,
Right.
and I believe that is a core function of why I've been able to just move into so many different roles and succeed in so many different ways. Even in my failures, I'm able now to, because of that thick skin I generated, because I've taken those hits, I'm able to get up a lot faster now.
Right.
What
Right.
it
Right.
feels like, right?
Right.
So I really enjoy that piece of the equation, even though I don't wish bullying on anyone.
Right.
But anybody that can build up a strength piece through however they do it, hopefully not through bullying, hopefully, maybe you take in a martial art or something like that. I highly recommend it, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that you looked at your past as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and expand and transform. That's the word I call a legit mindset, is that all the things that happen in our lives, even though they might feel bad at the time, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that
Yes.
now I can take that as a learning and grow and expand and transform from that. I mean, that's, for me, what you just shared is textbook. Meaning, like you said, okay, I was bullied, so I'm taking that now, because I have learned from all of my mistakes and all of my hurts and all of my setbacks and stuff. Now I'm able to jump up faster, quicker, and easier because I know how to get there. I know how to go back.
Yeah, and I liken it to relationships, right? I have friends who, growing up, they fell in love, and then their heart got crushed, and
Right.
it derailed them for years. I know
Yes.
some people that are still getting over 20 years later their sweetheart, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and I've been on a dating roller coaster. I'm now dating an amazing woman who, had I not gone on the journey I did, I wouldn't deserve to be with today.
Right.
And I adopted this kind of like mindset early on, and that is after every breakup, I allowed myself the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, wallow in it, eat all the Joe's Louis ding
Yeah.
dongs, candy chips I want, watch all the movies I want to relay to my pain. But then on Monday morning, I have to get up and I
Yes.
have to put it behind me and just take that lesson that I learned from it, whatever the mistake is that I made, because usually in relationships, even though people don't like to admit this, there's usually mistakes made by both sides. Digest it and move forward and use it to be better.
Wow. Wow. My dad was a country preacher back in Mississippi. And one of the things he had was, it's okay to go to the valley. Just don't pitch a tent down there.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
it's like, for you, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the valley. I'm going to go ahead and just allow myself to experience what I'm experiencing, which is okay. And that's what people have to understand too. As a mindset coach, one of the things I do share with individuals is that whatever emotion that you are actually experiencing, allow yourself to have it.
Very important.
Like I said, right now, what I'm hearing from you, Jay, is like almost textbook. Is like, you allow yourself to have this feeling, this emotion, and you allow it to communicate with you. Then it leaves, and then you go on and learn from it. And that's like, man, that's powerful. That's a powerful way to live.
Well, I have confronted the finality of mortality a few times in my life. And one thing you learn when that happens is so, and I'll give you the instances. Once I was outside of a nightclub. I worked in nightclubs for a long time,
Right.
and a bullet whizzed past me and hit somebody. Like
Wow.
I felt the breeze of it. And another time I was standing somewhere and somebody stood in my place. We turned and he got hit in the neck, and I would have been hit in the chest. Given my height, I would have been killed instantly. Just last year, I was in a health crisis that took me down for the pretty much the entire year. And the doctor said I came as close as you can come, and I experienced the most pain that my body could possibly handle without
Right.
succumbing to it. And when you experience that, you really learn the clock just doesn't stop. The clock doesn't care.
Right. Oh,
time,
no.
time does not care that something bad has happened. So you have no choice, really, if you're thinking about things rationally, but to learn, pick up, and keep going.
Wow. Wow. Well, now, basically, back up a little bit, and I don't, if you feel like it, you don't have to if you choose not to. But you just talked about your health crisis and how you came through that. What do you think precipitated that crisis? What was it that was happening in your life that potentially caused that crisis? Bespoke Human Potential Coaching sponsors this show. Bespoke helps CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs get rid of those blind spots that they've been carrying around since childhood. So if you're stuck and have some blocks, click the link below for your clarity call or scan the QR code if you're on video. Let's get rid of those blind spots. Now back to the interview.
Well, another double-edged sword, which seems to be, I think is going to be the theme of this interview. I've lived a very good life. I've lived a very experience-based life. I've done a little bit of everything, and I've put my body through the ringer.
Right.
And I've broken my back, I've broken my neck, I've broken my collarbone, I've broken everything. Doing crazy. I'm into extreme sports, parkour, things like that. So a lot of injuries. So a lot of trauma on the body, but also combined with, I was in a very high stress, high stakes business, and that stress and that trauma, but mostly the stress, triggered my CRP levels, my C-reactive protein levels, which regulate the inflammation in your body.
Yeah.
And On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being, let's say, I'm just making an easy scale. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the scale
yeah.
medical use. 5 being dead, I was a 6.
Wow.
And that's the way the doctors put it to me. So the stress of, I mean, I had to be on and perfect 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There was no break. And my body just said, enough is enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you came through it, though. I mean, you made it through. Now, do you
Yeah.
think the reason or some of the reasons you did make it through was because of your old learnings, the things that you have gone through before? Did you draw from those things when you were in this state of crisis?
Yeah, I mean, I can pinpoint to at least a few very specific ones. I was on a lot of so I was in a lot of pain. So
Right.
when I got out of the hospital and I was on outpatient therapy, I was on 12 to 25 pills a day
Wow.
of extremely high potency pain meds, and I would go. My girlfriend and I would go in the hot tub most nights just to try to soothe the body, right?
Right. Right.
And one day she said to me, you can't keep taking all these pills. You're not the same person. Like I'm having a really hard time with you.
Right.
I'm putting it.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
The PG version, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you, maybe even just 5 years before that, had anybody said that to me, I wouldn't have been able to listen. But I did. And so what it did was her saying that to me, I started to wean off the pills, because it's different to hear hydromorph and drugs like this and morphine and oxy and all these things are very addictive. But to hear it from the person you love the most in the world,
Mm,
that really it hit me hard. So I started to wean off the pills. I started to look at other ways to deal with the pain.
right.
And I actually, through that, expedited my healing, which was great. Another way that the clock ticking thing, right? I'm laying in bed. My leg was 3 times the size of a normal leg. I lost most of the use of my left side of my body. My vision, I had no peripheral vision on this side
Right.
of my face. And the doctor said to me, "Well, we don't really know what's wrong yet, and this could be a multi-year thing." And I said, "No, like just no. I have come too far. I have lived too. I haven't quite finished. I haven't finished my story yet. So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to accept this." And I spent most of my time when I was of sound thought, not in pain and not too medicated, to research and figure out ways to make sure I can overcome, and to make sure when I got out of the hospital, because it became very apparent that I wasn't gonna be able to run my company anymore. So
Right.
I made sure to take care of my people, make sure they all had jobs, made sure that everything kind of worked out in the end. And I would have never been able to do that had I not experienced all the pain that I did before that in my life, and all the lessons. And then the third real big lesson in my life that got me through that was, so my mom, at the same time, concurrently at this time, so my mom was
Right.
diagnosed with CLL, was told she would not, this is Christmas 2023. She was told she was very highly, in fact, like almost a 0% chance of seeing Christmas 2024.
Right.
And then I went into the hospital January 4th, 2024. So this is all happening at the same time. And uh, I was really distraught because I couldn't be there for her, because she couldn't come to the hospital for obvious reasons.
Right.
And so I'm laying there in pain, can't be there for her when I'm her main caregiver. So that was really bad for me. And my previous lesson that really lent to allowing me to get through that and to make the situation better, because better is a general theme in my life these
Right.
days, was the ability to regulate myself even when I was medicated, because I learned that through entrepreneurship. In the beginning, I'd throw my phone and I'd get so mad at things. I'd be so
Right.
emotional in the moment because, if things are going wrong, I couldn't handle it. But I was able to regulate my emotions and say, okay, all this stuff's going wrong, but what can I do, just a little thing to start turning it right? And I talk about these movements, right? Whether good person or bad person, right? You make these steps you make bad decisions, and they move you this way, or you make good decisions. And I was doing a lot of this in my life, pivoting
Okay.
between the two.
Right.
Whereas now I've learned, if you can just go 1%,
Right.
each day in the other direction. Eventually, you'll be moving so far in this direction, you won't even remember who this person was. So
Yeah.
that was,
Wow. I mean, so I mean, you think about number one. I think you talked about the fact that your girlfriend said whatever she said to you, you took it to heart. Like, hey,
yeah,
dude, probably I'm about to leave your, butt
yeah, yeah,
if you don't get it straight, right?
yeah,
But see, like sometimes that's not enough for people. I mean, it's not. I mean, sometimes people get that message and they're like, okay, I hear you. I want to stop, but I won't stop. But that's not you. All right. Then you fast forward. Then the doctor's saying, hey, dude, this is going to be your life. And I'm like, hell no, this is not going to be my life. I'm not going to stay in this. Like, number six, all these decisions you're making, then your mom being diagnosed, and you're like, okay, I need to be there for her. How can I now start regulating the moment? I mean, so there is something deep inside of you, Jay, man, that you decided that this is not going to be my life. I'm creating a new chapter,
yes.
a new script.
Well, it comes a lot from not being the person I wanted to be for quite a while.
Wow.
And you talk about, oh, I hear you when people,
Yeah.
their loved one
Yeah.
says something to them. I don't think they really do. And I don't think I could have heard her before because I had a lot of ego when I was younger.
Right.
And ego is, in my opinion, our greatest challenge, personal challenge for all of us. Whether having too much or too little,
Right.
it's another regulated piece of you, right? And I don't know that. In fact, I know that I would not have been able to hear her if I were younger because of that ego. But because I had gone through things and assessed myself and said, your ego's just getting in the way. Like, how many times do you have to be wrong while thinking you're completely right before you'll hear the opinions of the people you care about or that you trust or that you have mentored you or whatever, right?
Right.
So that was a huge piece of it. And if you're not hearing your partner, if your partner's saying something to you, and this is actually a big piece of my book, even though it is inspired fiction, it's based kind of on how I met my girlfriend, but also there's fiction in it. A big piece of that is understanding that you're with this person for a reason. And when you are not right in any way, shape, or form, these people are there for you to defer to say, hey, I'm not feeling right. Do you see anything wrong here? And you should trust them because that's why they're there. That's why you let them in.
I'm saying yes, and I'm agreeing with you. Yes, we should trust them.
Yeah.
Right. We should. I'm fortunate. I've been married now for 34 years.
I remember that, yeah.
And in the 34 years, I was talking to my buddy from Mississippi the other day. I'm like, man, yeah, she's actually put up with me for 34 years. God bless her. I mean, wow, it was hard for me to put up with myself. She did it. So what I'm saying is but every once in a while, I have to stop and check myself and says, okay, let me check in to find out what increments or small steps I need to make sure that we stay together another 34 years.
Yes.
But that's a conscious decision for me to do that. Some people said, ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna stay like I am. But you didn't do that, and I don't do that. But so what is it? That's what I'm looking for, Jay. It's like, what is it that you think now that allows you to make these small increments and listen and make these adjustments in your life now? What would that be, you think?
Well, like I said, I was a very emotionally driven person.
Okay.
I would, whatever the emotion was, it's not like I had any problem. I just didn't know how to regulate my emotions properly.
Right.
And I had a few moments in my life where I went, wow, was I wrong? And why would I allow myself to continue to make this same mistake over and over again? And then, I consciously made the effort to say, look, it is not good to be a computer, as in have straight rationale all the time and no emotions. Right. But there definitely has to be a balance between rationale and emotion. And I worked really hard to look at my past and say, how could being more rational and being less emotional in a situation help me? And in every single instance, it would have helped me not make that mistake I made, or at least soften the blow. So life comes down to learning. It really does. If you want to take a next step up, you have to learn. It's just the way it is. You can't go anywhere without learning, right?
I mean, I'm laughing and I'm agreeing with you. I mean, for all of my life, man, all of my life. I mean, well, especially in my adult life, and I was asking God, because that's what I believe in. If you call it the universe or source, whatever you call it, that's fine. I was asking God, okay, God, what is this thing all about? What is this life all about? Because something is not quite there. I'm not getting it. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me in the whole grand scheme of things. And I read this book, and if you're ready for this book, you could, but you got to be ready for it. It's called Many Lives, Many Masters. And the doctor takes this lady on a journey of past lives. But that's something for another show. But in this book, what it was that in between lives, we have these opportunities for learnings.
100%.
And what I learned from that book was, dang it, that's what it's all about. It's not about the experience, this journey that we're on. It's all about learning, growing, expanding, and transforming, because this is an expensive world. And that's kind of what I boil everything down to now. That's why I coined the saying legit mindset, is because if we can get that, if people can understand what you just said, Jay, the bottom line is whatever you're going through is all about learning.
Yeah. Like, and it's funny. I can relate it. I keep bringing up my book. So the last first date is
bring it up. That's what we're here for.
the last first date. So I've written before,
Right.
Not good. Okay. In that I really didn't take the time to learn how to write. I was writing because I enjoyed getting thoughts out of my head onto paper.
Right.
And, I have always had two, and my girlfriend and I talk about this all the time. I'm still kind of struggling with it in my daily life. Is I have two sides to me. I have the political debater, data, super rational guy. And then I have the emotionally connected, trying to become more emotionally intelligent every day, romantic, dreamer in me, right? And those two collide all the time. So this is the last first date. When I wrote it, was the first project where I ever felt like I was able to merge the two.
Wow.
And that I wrote a love story inspired by how I met my girlfriend. But I also, my whole series, it's the first book in the Quintessence series, and I've written 2 books for it now, The Last First Date and Interstellar Funeral. And they're all about the human condition and how to learn from your past. And
Wow.
And what I hope people take away from it is that they look at the characters as they're moving through their journey and realize the way that they get to the ending is by consciously learning the whole way along. So because that's been such a huge piece of my life, and because when I talk to my friends, the ones that have adopted this as well, they do better too. I really just want to create works that people can look at and say, that was a really great story. I cried. It was amazing. But also, holy crap, I need to assess some things if they need to, right?
Yes.
That's a priority for me.
Oh man, that's beautiful, dude. One thing before I ask another question is that I love what you talked about, the small increment steps, the 1% in the direction that you want to go into. I mean, how powerful that is, because people don't understand that's more of a compounding effect.
Yeah.
And it's not like a legitimate 1%. Do you have anything else you want to share with that, or was that it? Bespoke Human Potential Coaching sponsors this show. Bespoke helps CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs get rid of those blind spots that they've been carrying around since childhood. So if you're stuck and have some blocks, click the link below for your clarity call, or scan the QR code if you're on video. Let's get rid of those blinds. Now back to the interview.
Yeah, no, I was a 100% kind of guy, right? I would come into work and I would beat myself up all the time because I was like, I had 5,000 things on my to-do list and I only got 6 of them done, right? And or in my journey to become a better writer, again, learning and taking courses and master classes and all that, it would go slow. It's hours and hours and hours of learning and workbooks and all these sorts of things, and you're going, man, this is just, it takes so long. But when I just let go of that mindset and I said, okay, I'm just going to take small steps every day.
Yes.
Small, realistic steps that are steps within that a human being can actually take. I'm not, I think I had a bit of a Superman complex back then. I could do everything and right then. So the 1% is, you talk about it compounding. It's like compounding interest. It really is. If you do 1% better every day, you're 1%, then people think, okay, now I'm 2%. No. Now you're 3%. Yeah. And then you're, because it's growing, and you're growing upon that base every time, and you keep doubling that base, and you learn how to be more efficient and learn faster and learn better and retain better. And one thing I wish schools taught students was not to memorize, but how to actually learn and apply. And so in 100 days, you can be way further than 100% better if you go 1% every day.
Yeah, right. Powerful. Now I know you the book is behind you, and is so share it with people. How can they get it, and how can they get in touch with you, man?
The easiest way to get in touch with me to get the book, watch my podcast, do anything. It's my whole life story. All my projects are there. jwrites.ca. Writes is in WRITES. So you can go to my website, and literally everything's there. Social media profiles, YouTube, it's all there.
Yeah, there you go. What would you like to leave with the audience, man? I mean, I'm telling you, first of all, thank you. I mean, I'm telling you thank you before I know I'm gonna thank you at the end of the show, but I'm thanking you right now, man, because the fact that you're speaking my language is like really. I mean, really, I think that one nugget that you shared with the audience of learning is so powerful. If a person knowing whatever they're going through, and I've gone through some horrific things, and you've had bullets flying past your head and laid out on the bed in your bed for a year and all these things, and it's all about what can I get, what is the universe, what is God, or what what do I need personally to learn from, to grow from this. So what would you like to share with the audience, man, before we leave?
I'll go in a completely opposite, different topic, just because, I stopped writing for a long time because I made it, I was trying to make money off of it when I really enjoyed it. It was my passion. Now that's what I'm trying to do now, but that's because I have a passion project. That is my podcast. My podcast is, it doesn't matter if I get 1 view, 100 views. I'm doing it as personal therapy for myself. It's a total passion project. Right. And I think everybody should have something. It doesn't have to be a podcast. It doesn't have to be writing a book. It can be so small. It can be painting little figurines. It can, whatever you do, something you love just because you love it. Right. And you will always, no matter what your emotional state, no matter what your mentality is, you will always be able to come back to that and regulate yourself. And that was one of the most important parts of my journey. Was when I started podcasting, I realized, oh man, I just love this therapy of it. And it's making me, it's putting everything, when I break my mindset and I go over to just doing that, right, and then I come back to whatever I was frustrated with, I can deal with it so much better. Wow. Just because I had that passion. I have that passion. I'm doing something for myself and taking myself out of that mindset of, I have to go further. I have to do this thing. I have to make money. I have to, right? This is just because I want to.
Wow. So there you go, guys. I think what he kind of saying is that there should be something in our lives that we can just be us and be ourselves, and not for money, just the pleasure and for self-care. I mean, for me, that one of the things I do is the podcast itself, I get to meet great people like you, and I'm a connector from the heart. And I get to talk to people like you, man. That like lights up my day and my life that makes me want to keep going forward. And another thing I do just because is I would like to walk. I mean, I walk like 10,000 steps every day, and first thing in the morning, I do that just to be connected with who I am and allow myself to be me. So
And you're
I
not
think
just walking.
everybody.
You're not just walking.
I'm not. It's just walking.
Yeah, there's so much happening while you're walking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's deeper than just walking.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I'm
the key.
connecting with me. I mean, that's an opportunity for me just to say, hey, I'm not worried about an email. I'm not worried about a podcast. I'm not worried about coaching. I'm not worried about anything. It's just me and my thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you look at it, that's kind of what I'm getting is that everybody needs that opportunity to be them, to reconnect. Because what you said was when you come back from the podcast, now you are renewed to do more of the stuff that you need to do or want to do, right?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. And it's just to put a fine point on this, I even say in the last first date, the character of Beck, he's thinking to himself, all these people talk about, I want to find somebody that can be number one in my life, but you should be number one in your life. You have to spend every waking second with yourself. So you need to make sure that you're able to look at yourself and say, I am happy with who I am. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you have some sort of balance in your life and finding a passion, finding something that is good for your self-care, small, big, whatever. That is the only way to find the balance, at least for me, to do better every day.
Wow. Jay, once again, man, thank you. I told you, thank you, man.
Thank you
for being on the show today. I want to thank everybody for listening. I mean, guys, remember that true success comes from, it was out of Jay's mouth, and basically I've coined it as a legit mindset, but you got to keep learning, guys, growing, expanding, and transforming every day. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, please go to the links below and purchase the book. Go to Jay's podcast and listen to what he has to say. And if this particular episode kind of resonates with you and you're ready for a breakthrough, I mean, this is what I do, guys. This is what I do. I don't do it because I make money. I do it because I love helping you transform your life. And as an exchange of energy, you pay me. An exchange of energy, you pay me because you're getting so much more than what I ever can give. So if you have some blind spots, something holding you back, use the link below and schedule your free clarity call with me. If you feel like, you want to really unlock your potential, let's get together and just talk through it. Once again, guys, my name is Curtis McCullom. Make it a great day. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show.